Hello everybody, TwinklePhoenix here and welcome to a Five Nights at Treasure Island episode. So today we're going to be talking about Henry, the missing intern. Now let's first of all go over what we know that is set up here on the Wikipedia, and I'm going to add in additional information for you guys. Okay, so we know Henry was an intern that worked at Treasure Island before Jake did. Well, technically, he came along and he worked at the SSA along with Greg and Lisa. We don't know how long Henry had been interning with them, but it was their first time for all of them out in the field. And explained in several logs, Henry wandered off without supervision and Lisa and Greg could not find him. This later led them hiring a new intern called Jake Smith. Has stated that Henry will make an appearance in the game. It's unknown yet how he will appear, whether a suit or phone call or even as himself or even a dead corpse. But he will appear. Now, there's a couple of things we need to know about Henry. For some unexplained reason or another, Greg is 100% determined to find Henry and bring him back. He hasn't stopped researching and trying to get everything he can do. He's gone completely out of his way, using all their fundings, hoping to get back to the place to find Henry. There has to be a connection between Henry and Greg. There must be a bond between the two. I don't think at all one of these series is correct. Right, the first one here is possibly Henry left the cigarette butt on the ashtray in the office. It is possible. Then again, it could have already been left there from whoever was in the place beforehand because it looks really old. Now, then this one is the one I disagree with. It's also possible Henry ended up dying and was found. That's true. But Lisa and Greg attempted to cover it up in fear that the funding for the project will be halted. Now, I don't think that's it, because if we think about that, it defeats the objective of sending Jake there, because if they were covering up, what would be the point of sending Jake in to find Henry? Unless they were planning on killing Jake afterwards to make sure there was no witnesses. And again, their funding still stopped. Henry could have possibly died, or he was left unconscious, or he was injured. They followed a blood trail and they came across the face, unfortunately, leaving Lisa and Greg slightly traumatized. Lisa the worst. She was saying how it had human eyes. But Greg said that it was leading up to one of their something. I swear he was going to say one of their own. So possibly they did find Henry. He was maybe unconscious, bleeding, injured, dying. And of course, they got scared and they bolted because it was the first time coming face to face with these strange beings. They already met for negative Mickey, who didn't do much to him. But then, of course, when they come to the face, it was a completely different story. There was blood there. But Greg has gone to great lengths to try and find Henry. He sent Jake in, an intern, in hopes of him doing whatever Henry did last. He said, hopefully an intern can replicate the curiosity of another intern. In other words, he wants Jake to go in and retrace Henry's steps. He's hoping Jake's going to be just as nosy as Henry was and find him in hopes of bringing him back, because that's the one thing Greg has wanted. Okay. That was weird. Let's carry on. Very distracting. Anyway, where was I? I can't remember now. But yeah, Greg definitely wants to find Henry. So I doubt it's because of the fundings, because he's desperately trying to get more funding so they can go out there to get Henry back. But he's been missing for quite some time. You'd think Greg would give up. There's only one thing I can think of. Maybe, possibly Greg and Henry actually have a history together. That maybe they grew up together, maybe they're actually related, maybe they're cousins. Greg cares for Henry. It can't just be because he's an intern. There must be more to it than that. They must be like best friends or something, because he's very determined to find him. He must have been with them for like a long time. I thought Greg is just being very responsible for having let something happen to him. It says here he could have been killed in the office and recorded a message for Jake because he knew he was going to die. Again, I don't know because we haven't heard any recording for Henry at all. And we know that the last time he was seen was heading into Pirate's Cavern, where his camera was, after he seemed to misplace it. Again, though, oddly enough, it was on the second floor. The camera I saw was on the Undying's floor, so it is possible that maybe one of the suits moved it upstairs, trying to lead them away, or even took the camera in hopes of separating them all up. I don't know. I really don't. I'm just guessing here. It also says here that Henry's skull may be in Donald Duck's head. Again, that's possible, but it could also be anybody's head. Following, the face and forehead of Mickey may have his body parts. Again, true. Most likely the face might have something of Henry's. As for forehead of Minnie, possibly what she's got might actually be one of the Blank kids or one of the other victims. Possibly. It could be wrong though. But again, that is a good theory. Goofy's body contains Henry. Maybe, but I really don't find that idea very interesting. I mean, I guess it's possible. But then why would he still try to kill you? You may play as Henry during Pirates Cavern. Possibly. But then again, you're trying to retrace the steps of Henry. So you could technically be either Jake or Henry during that. We'll find out eventually. He may be an enemy. That is possible. I mean, he was abandoned. His friends did run off when he needed them the most, and they were responsible for him. And he trusted them. He may be possessed in some way. Well, that's true. There is a strange supernatural being here somewhere. Henry may have dropped his racist camera in the Undying's room. Yes, Lisa said he dropped it in Pirate's Cavern, not in the Undying's room. As far as we know, the area in which the map shows the upstairs isn't called Pirate's Cavern, as far as I know. I mean, it could also be another area called Pirate's Cavern, but we won't know till the full game. But it is very possible that somebody moved Henry's camera up there. They said they followed a trail of blood. Again, only time will tell. What do you guys think? Where do you think we will find Henry? Anyway, that was Henry. I will carry on taking a closer look at several of the characters. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this episode, taking a closer look at Henry. Again, we haven't actually been given any information on what he looks like, what color eyes he has, because if we could tell what color eyes he has, we'll be able to track down who's got his eyeballs. But something about the face looked very familiar, so I think mostly the face has something to do with it. Anyway, yeah guys, I do hope you enjoyed this episode of Five Nights at Treasure Island. More will be up on the channel shortly.